We've all heard it, haven't we? Feedback is a breakfast of champions. Feedback is a gift. We know logically feedback is great to help us grow and strengthen our leadership. But as humans, it's not just logic we're dealing with, is it? It's emotion. So today I'm sharing with you 3 facts to free you from the discomfort and the heaviness that you've been carrying around till now about feedback, so you can stand sturdy in your feedback conversations. Hi and welcome, my name is Jo, and this video is for professional women like you that want to reconnect with your confidence and energy and gain clarity to step back in charge of your leadership and life. A recent study shared that over 65% of employees said they wanted more feedback from their leaders, and 98% of employees fail to be engaged when managers give little or no feedback to their workers. Our employees want it. It helps them grow and develop and increase their performance. And as leaders, we're not doing it enough. But there's a lot that gets in the way of feedback, isn't there? So let's get some facts straight so you can be having more feedback conversations, receive feedback more openly, and know what to do next. Fact number 1 about what leaders need to know about feedback. Not all feedback is equal. As a trainer and a coach, I'm eliciting feedback every week, if not every day, from the leaders that I work with. And let me tell you, honestly, some feedback I take the steps to implement improvements straight away. And some feedback, I don't. Because not all feedback is equal, useful, helpful, or impactful to you or your leadership. Like the time a few years ago when I delivered a training to 68 people in a room over a few days, and I received 67 helpful and useful bits of feedback. And one piece of feedback I received said they didn't like my red shoes. Now, if you spend a few days in a training room with me learning about leadership and my shoes is all you have to comment on, then I'm thinking then maybe there's another problem. So have I worn my shoes since I received this feedback? Well, of course I have, because my shoes were clearly not the problem. Even if I move my ego completely aside, it wasn't about the shoes. Some feedback you will take on, and some you will just say thank you and leave it on the table. Fact number 2 about what leaders need to know about feedback. You can assess the usefulness of feedback with one powerful question. As I mentioned to you before, not all feedback is equal, but how do you separate the wheat from the chaff, as we used to say on the farm? Well, you can ask yourself this one question. If I implement this feedback, will it help me succeed, not have an impact, or negatively impact my performance? Now, you need to be really honest with yourself here. You've got to move your ego to the side and to be open with receiving all feedback. Then once the feedback conversation is over, you can check in with yourself and ask yourself that question. If I implement this feedback, will it help me succeed? Will it not have an impact, or will it negatively impact my performance? Now let's go back to my red shoes. Wearing red shoes or not did not move me closer to success. It certainly wouldn't impact my performance. In fact, in this case, I would say it wouldn't have an impact at all, whether I wore the shoes or not. So therefore, I'm not going to spend any more time or energy on that particular piece of feedback. Makes sense, right? Now, this question can also be useful to keep in mind when you are giving feedback to others as well. Can you see that now? Are you giving them something that they can work with? Something they can do something about? If they implement the feedback that you've discussed, will it help them succeed, not have an impact, or negatively impact their performance? This question can help guide you to give more helpful and practical feedback. Give me a like if you find that helpful. Fact number 3 about what leaders need to know about feedback. Feedback is about listening, not just speaking. According to leadership and emotional intelligence expert Dan Babinski, millions of dollars is lost every single day in organizations simply because of poor listening. It turns out, particularly in feedback conversations, leaders giving feedback are often afraid of listening because they don't want to give the impression of agreeing with something they don't actually support. And studies demonstrate that employees may not listen as well because they don't want to hear feedback but may force them to reconsider their own perspectives. And in addition to that, there's also a fear that just listening will mean that they miss the chance to convey their own viewpoint during a feedback discussion. So make sure you build plenty of time in for listening and open discussion, rather than it just becoming a one-sided conversation. Feedback is the breakfast of champions, but let's do our best as leaders to make it a purposeful, useful, and engaging breakfast. Shall we? Now, if you've made it this far in my video, you will love my online community where I dig deeper into the challenges facing professional women to help you strengthen your self-confidence, realign your energy, and find clarity to make better decisions at work, accelerate your leadership, and step back in charge of your work and life. So join my online community in the link below and start getting your free powerful bonuses now. Now, I want you to go and watch the next video where I table the topic, shut up and create an impact, where I tell you exactly how zipping it is going to help empower others and help build trust in your powerful feedback conversations and also your general conversations with those around you. Useful, huh? I know. I'll see you over there.